This week, the Motorhead Garage crew show how you can take your car, truck, or snowmobile to the next level and keep it looking good. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Hey there, Motorheads. You are locked into Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. See, you've got an LT motor like this one here, or an LS motor, and you want a little more thump in that? Well, you want to go to the place that has the best performance parts. That's Brian Tooley Racing. And here's Brian Tooley himself to tell us why we know that you have the best performance parts out there.
I think one of our strengths is the fact that we focus on specific genre of engine, right? When you look at Chevrolet Gen 3 through Gen 5, that's primarily what we focus on. You know, rather than trying to make camshafts for small block Chevy, small block Ford, and big block Chevy, and big block Ford, and lots of other genres. I think because we specialize in just those few genres of Chevrolet engines, that enables us to spend a lot more time and money and focus, and therefore to develop the best load designs, the best camshafts. So I think that niche focus is one of our biggest strengths.
And you also told me beforehand, testing is a big focus for you. Why is that?
Well, you know, what we're finding out, evidently, because, you know, we develop lobes in-house, we have a Spintron in-house that we check the dynamics of the lobe design, and then the engine dyno, of course, for power. And what we're finding is some of our competitors don't have Spintrons. Maybe they don't even design lobes in-house. They're grinding cams in-house, but they don't actually design the lobes in-house. So because they're not designing lobes in-house, or not testing the lobes in-house in a Spintron, you know, they're missing the dynamic part in terms of measuring the dynamics of that lobe design. And the dynamics equates to durability. I don't care how much power something makes, if it breaks 5,000 or 10,000 miles down the road, it's no good.
Makes a lot of sense, whether you're racing or just on the street as well.
Right.
And let's talk specifically about your camshafts now. We have the one in the front there. Who's using that camshaft, and tell me about that a little bit.
So this is actually our Red Hot camshaft, and it's a very interesting cam because we developed it for a naturally aspirated LS3, and then we tested it on a centrifugal supercharged LS3 and also a positive displacement supercharged LS3, and it actually performed incredibly well on all three. There's that other company that makes a sauce that says that they put that stuff on everything, right? And so we say we put that shaft in everything.
It's the shaft of all trades.
Yeah, and ironically, I've got a C5Z06 that I road race just for fun. I actually put that shaft in that LS6 engine, which is not what that camshaft was developed for, but it works incredibly well. It makes, you know, great average torque. And but what's really interesting about this cam in a centrifugal supercharged engine is we had an LS3 centrifugal supercharged cam that's 227 intake duration. This cam with only 221 intake duration makes 35 horsepower more than that cam, you know, 6 degrees more duration.
Right? You found that out through the ever-important testing.
Through the testing, yeah, exactly.
And then you've got push rods here, which you tell me are the best around. It's just a stick. What can make your push rods better than others?
Well, as simple as that one-piece design is, you know, we thought the three-piece design would be better with the hardened inserted tips, but what we found was just the few grams of increased mass of that three-piece push rod was not as dynamically stable on the Spintron as the one-piece design.
Wow. And then moving on to the intakes here, you've got, this is the equalizer.
Yes, sir.
And basically an upper and lower plenum design in there to distribute the air throughout. So that's a very cool piece there. And then tell me about the Trinity here.
So the Trinity is designed, you know, like a billet intake three-piece. It's the only cast aluminum three-piece intake on the market designed like a billet. And the difference is when you put both of these on a let's say an LS3, because we make them for LS3, this one has better cylinder distribution. The Trinity makes more peak horsepower, but doesn't have quite as good a cylinder distribution. You know, so let's say you've got, you know, an aftermarket ECU and you can tune the engine by cylinder. You know, if you've got a rich cylinder, lean cylinder, you know, then the Trinity is obviously kind of the ultimate. If you want something that's a little simpler, you're running a stock ECU, you're not doing the individual cylinder, you know, trim, fuel trim, then the equalizer is easy.
And most of them out there are billet aluminum. And how do these compare performance-wise?
Performance-wise, on the dyno, we've actually seen our Trinity intake outpower a competitor's billet intake, but that goes back to the design of the runner itself and, you know, not the material it's made from.
Well, they say the proof is in the pudding. Well, there's your pudding right back there. That Camaro, everything's stock on that except for an intake manifold, cylinder heads, and a camshaft from Tooley Racing. They're getting 200 more horsepower out of that than stock, 740 horsepower. You can find all these parts at BrianTooleyRacing.com. And you can find more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com right after this.